It's the country's #1 RVing radio show, brought to you by Rockwood, a division of Forest River, building better RVs, making smarter RVers.
All right, Alan Warren, the RV Wingman, back with you with a special guest. And before we bring him up, as you may know, if you spend a lot of time on social media, you soon begin to read a lot of stories about consumers that are really unhappy with the new RV they bought, from quality issues to incredibly slow service from a dealer that just doesn't seem to care after the RV leaves the dealer's lot. And once you start reading these stories, it seems that, there's some RV owners out there that truly believe all new RVs are junk, that they're almost intentionally built to fall apart. Well, for a couple of years, I have been inviting anybody from the RV industry to join us here on the show, talk with us about what's going on, and begin a real and ongoing conversation between the RV manufacturer and the consumer, where they will listen to us and we will listen to them. So what we've really been working towards is what you might call an educational partnership, not some advertising deal or some selling sponsorship, but an actual educational partnership. The good news, we finally have the manufacturer that wants to be involved, and they want to be involved with you and me, folks, and open up that line of communication. On our guest line is Mr. Carl Miller. Carl, you work for the Flagstaff Rockwood division of Forest River. What do you do there? What kind of things are you responsible for?
Alan, thanks for having me. I appreciate allowing us to be part of this. So my job is operations, overseeing production, engineering, customer service experience. So the day-to-day of building the RVs and supporting them after the sale through the dealerships.
So you're responsible for pretty much all of it from that comes out of your plant there.
Overseeing most of the day-to-day operations, excluding sales. Sales side is handled by our GM.
When did you start working in the RV industry? You've been around for a long time, or?
So I started my RV career in the early 2000s. I started at the Rockwood Flagstaff almost 18 years ago as a general assembler and worker. I actually installed axles, tires. Worked my way up to becoming a plant manager, overseeing plant production of the RVs. And I retained that position for a little over 10 years, building the brands up. And then more recently, in the last 5 to 6 years, I've been the operations manager for all of Flagstaff Rockwood.
So you've been there at Flagstaff Rockwood or Rockwood Flagstaff, however you say it, for a long time. How have you seen things change, Carl, in that length of time? Are they pretty much the same as they have been?
No, there's been a shift in what our focus is. It's no secret that the RV industry had a lot of focus on sales growth. Sometimes the glamour of the RV, how it looks versus how it operates. I believe the industry is heading more towards improving, enhancing the customer experience by, minimizing the turn time on parts, responses to the retail customers. And I believe that that's where we want to use platforms such as your show to help tie us together and continue to educate ourselves as well as the retail customer.
Well, I can't tell you how much I appreciate, and on behalf of our listeners and viewers, how much we appreciate just having somebody that will listen to us, because it's very frustrating. You're, like I said, on social media, you read a lot of things and you begin to think that the manufacturer doesn't care. And in the meetings that you and I have had, the few times we visited, I know that you do care, and your team there in Indiana cares. And I think that's really, really important. Walk through a typical day in the life of Carl Miller, I guess, if you would, up there at your plant.
Yeah. So they start really early. All the production plants start at 5 o'clock in the morning, and I usually show up around that time, and customer service come in until a few hours after that. But we basically have the RV year is broken down by model change, new floor plans, fine-tuning the new floor plans. So we'll come in the morning and go through emails as far as the problems we're having. We have products that are going to different PDI, AI buildings that tells us what we're doing wrong, what we can improve on, and then we collaborate as a staff, saying how can we improve all these different areas every day to continue to get better.
Are there any, I don't know, consistent themes that you hear from consumers when they email you or they call you? Any consistent things that, problems they have? I don't know. I'm just generally asking.
Yeah, there's a frustration with lack of education, lack of response, both from us, the manufacturer, and sometimes the dealerships, where we might not be supporting the dealerships well enough. We are working on those responses and try to figure out ways to improve not just our brands, but the industry as a whole, because we don't want that light of we're not doing our jobs to be something that affects the RV industry. And we do get feedback where lack of speed, the response on troubleshooting parts to just the material that are available to our customers, so how to operate the RV and maintain them is an area that...
It seems to me, and all that, I think I understand what you're saying, and it seems to me that from the good dealers that I talk to, they believe that effective communicating with your customer is so important, even if it's bad news. Hey, it's going to be longer than we thought to get your part. At least communicate with the customer so they know that they're not being forgotten about.
Yeah, sure. That's an area that we have to continue to improve on. It's hard for sometimes people to give bad news, but we have to continue to communicate every day, multiple times a day, just so that at the peace of mind that something's being worked on, that there's some kind of timeline that's being pushed.
In the big picture, tell me how you see consumer issues. I mean, are consumers being too picky nowadays and being unrealistic? Or are they? Do they have legitimate complaints, or is it a mixture of both?
I wouldn't say that they're being too picky. I think it's have to understand what level everybody's at. As people get more educated on the product, they change okay and what's not okay. I'm just getting to the end of building a house, and I know something about, level of expectation, and I would never want to sit here and say that somebody's being too picky, because if they spent their hard-earned money on it and waited months to go camping, the last thing they want is have any kind of issues to affect that camping trip. So we have to acknowledge those shortcomings and figure out a way to meet the customer at the expectations they have.
Well, I got to tell you, we're going to have you on, or a representative from your division there on every single week, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate having the opportunity to listen to you, and for us to listen to you and you listen to us, because there's a lot of people out here that going to have questions, and you're probably going to take some heat, Carl. So I commend you. I thank you for this.
Absolutely. We're happy to see where this goes and to do our part, helping bridge that gap to a better customer experience, for sure.
This is awesome. All right, listen, we're going to let you go, and we will catch up with you next week. Thank you so much, all right?
All right, thanks, Alan.
All right, you take care. So there you go, folks. We have finally made the connection with a manufacturer that wants to begin the conversation with you and me, and I think that is really cool in this education initiative partnership, and I know it's going to be fantastic, and we're going to all learn an awful lot. So Carl is going to join us again next week, and if you have a question for the manufacturer, all you got to do is call. We've got a voicemail line set up, 24-hour voicemail. If you have a question that you would like Carl to answer, if you'd like to get it to the manufacturer, get a straight, honest answer, call. Leave your message 24/7. The number is 1-330-WINGMAN. If you got a comment, leave us your comment as well. 1-330-WINGMAN. I'm Alan Warren, the RV Wingman, and I'll be right back. So what do you think, everybody? What do you think? What do you think of having access to have your questions answered by somebody at the manufacturer level? To me, as I mentioned, that's a very, very big deal for RVers, and most will be, well, I promise you this is going to be a very enlightening conversation as we go along. It'll be enlightening for the people in the industry who listen as well. So whatever your thoughts are about the Ask the Manufacturer segment, we would like to hear them. You know the 24-hour number, don't you? You know it. 1-330-WINGMAN. I think.